Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight on Bastardized Retrospectives of Miami Vice, we'll be talking about the episode "The Great Mcarthy." Nice little departure from the very, very dark tone of last week's Not Exit. This time it's a little bit more lighter. We get to see the gang be a little bit more fun, a little bit more charming, and we get the introduction of Izzy, played by Martin Ferrero, who returns after his unfortunate departure after trying to gun down Tubbs for misgendering him. So, without further ado, let me bring on my guests. Admiral Teague, how you doing, my friend?
Hello, good to see you. Everybody, hello out there. We have, a different kind of episode that I think is out of production order. John Deal is clean shaven. He had a beard last week.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and yeah, that's a good little watch. That's actually a very good little spot as well. So, who knows? Because they do shoot these episodes probably out of sequence and sometimes rearrange them. But I could probably see why. Because last week was really fucking harsh. We had Bruce Willis sort of beating his wife and essaying her. So, it's kind of like
Brutal.
now we need to give him a little bit of a candy episode. Just have something like a boat race, and have the gang sort of have a little bit of fun. Let's introduce a new character. Let's bring back Martin Ferrero Rocher. Anyway, so
And let's go commercial to commercial 2 different times, only playing music with minimal and anything. This is a really atmospheric episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely lighter as well. And Lord Toxic Man, I've sent the link in the chat if you want to jump on. Kung Fu Hot Dog will be jumping on later. He's got something to deal with personally, but he will be here. He said he'll be 30 minutes late, but it's no problem, man. So yeah, John the Beagle Dad, how are you doing? And Miami Vice Remastered. I'm loving your music videos, edited with all the clips. I'm really doing a bang up job, my friend. You really are. And if you've not seen his channel, do subscribe to him as well. He's I love watching his stuff.
So Northern, before we go any further, just so you know, I wore my most nostalgic shirt. This is my 1989 Rolling Stones tour shirt. The show was still on when I bought this.
Damn, man, that's not bad. That I mean, I did see him. Think about maybe 13 years ago at Hyde Park, anyway. And this was before Charlie Watts had passed away. And, it was a good time. It was a good time. It really was.
Greatest drummer. I saw the Rolling Stones on the last tour with the new drummer. He's Keith Richards' old drummer. He's fine, but no one is Charlie Watts. And the Rolling Stones inexorably linked to this show because, of course, we start with the Rolling Stones all the way in New York with Tubbs sitting in his car listening to
Miss You. Yeah, because I miss you. Hey,
I think we're gonna bring that back.
Girls is dying to meet you.
Gonna bring a case of wine. Gonna have a real good time. Like we used to.
Yeah, and this is not. This is one thing I love about this episode as well. You get a nice little appearance from Frank Liberty as this college lecturer, teacher, drug dealer kind of guy, and
we call them professors. We call them
Dr. Frankenstein from Day of the Dead. He's God, we're going to get to that scene soon anyway, but we'll probably just jump into this episode anyway. And we can talk about what we need to talk about as we go through it. So yeah, let me get these slides up.
We do have leading villains from B movies playing our henchmen here, so like it's there's money in this episode. There's not a lot of story. They did spend their money. They didn't we only have about a 30-minute script right here. Like we don't have much more story. It's like, you know what? Let's just gratuitously film this boat race, and they do, and it's good TV.
I know it's a fun one, isn't it? It's something you can sort of just sit back and relax a little bit. It does it top the last episode? Does it top other episodes? No, but it's I still had some fun with this as well.
We have to show
like this a lot better than I think I like this a lot better than I did the last time I watched it. I thought it kind of felt like a throwaway episode, and to some degree it kind of is, but who knows? I mean, you might say some stuff that might convince me otherwise as well, that it might be better or worse. So
this is a stylistic episode more than a
very stylish. Oh yeah,
episode. They want you to be immersed. Like, you know what? Miami's cool. You know what? We have boat races here. You know what? We got millionaires too. We got crime too. They're like, Miami's a cool place, and here we are. This part bothered me. The opening was a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was very confused as well
Hackneyed
because this building looks like it's still under construction, yet he's robbed it, or
or
did he
abandoned.
rob another place and then run somewhere else? I don't know, like this place, but the alarm's going off in this place though. So did he?
Nothing really makes sense about this sequence, including the fact that Crockett and Tubbs appear to be doubled for every moment of this until they catch up with Izzy. And let's remember something. He has robbed a bank with a gun. It is
Yeah,
what the
a
charge
starter
is.
pistol as well. A starter pistol he sells later. But I love
Which
how they're just looking
they
around
used
and
to make it less. They used to like make it less bad. Like he's really just a stick-up kid with heart. He's not a bad guy. The thing, this is 25 years in jail in an American prison, and for every single person in the bank, it's attempted murder and hostage taking and false imprisonment. We are talking like
it's fourth felony as well. It's fourth felony, and
on paper, this is like 200 years in jail. In like real life, if you do this in New York and Mamdani has anything to say with it, they'll give you the money and let you leave. But you're not walking out of most jails in less than 10, 12, 15 years. This is a very serious charge. You're going to catch dozens of years in prison, in sentencing, and you're going to serve like 15. This is they can't blow this off. This is jaywalking to these guys. They're being too cavalier, but I do think they look great. Is it me, or does Crockett's shirt change from a black button down to the electric blue sleeveless after the chase once he catches up to Izzy? I believe he has a black t-shirt, a black shirt until his face comes into view.
Have a look. Zoom in a little bit. It looks a little bluish. Maybe
here's where we finally pick up with Crockett and Tubbs. We're close enough to see their face. We have our principal actors running up the escalator, running down the sidewalk. The dialogue is obviously dubbed in, and we hear such generic dialogue. It's never the way that people would speak. If you and I jumped out of a car and we were chasing a guy towards a building and in our town and we were beat cops, and we had become detectives, you'd be like, he's running towards the old airport. It's like, it's only got one entrance. That's the kind of dialogue we have. Instead, it's like, he's going to the left. You run to the left. I'll be behind you. He's going into that building.
He runs to the right. He runs all around the place.
They narrate themselves. It's almost like Wide World of Sports. It's like, here comes
I know, we can
around
see
the
what's
corner.
happening, can't we? We can see what's happening already. I mean, we've already seen that. This is where we get to know Izzy as well. We know he's this weaselly fucking arsehole, isn't he? He's hiding in this panel, and he's got the dye. The dye covered on him because he exploded all over him.
They don't explain it for two scenes. I was like, I thought it was grease. Here's what happens with how we meet Izzy. Now, this character is going to be, we're rolling out not a major, but a recurring character. He's going to replace
he's going to be like the Huggy Bear, isn't he? Except he's not going to be Huggy Bear. He's not like Nuggy, because we still see Nuggy in a couple of other episodes before he gets kicked out for his drug problem and his rivalry with Don Johnson. But it tells you everything about this character. You can tell he's a total weasel as well, and he's like, I had never seen that money in my life. It's like, I don't carry. I just don't. It's my money. I don't carry a wallet because it ruins the line into my trousers. You are coming to a really serious conclusion here, my friend.
I am the only person you know who carries their money around in an actual bank bag from the bank. Yeah, he's got 2 tear-proof, cut-proof bags filled with hundreds. He's covered with the dye, but they don't do a good job explaining it. He says it to us later. I thought he was just filthy. Like, there's no knowing what happens. This entire opening sequence, I think some of the directions became dialogue. Like, it wasn't a well-formatted script. So they're yelling directions, like basically orienting us. They're showing and telling at the same time. What they're showing doesn't totally match what they're telling. They run into this, like, we needed a line like, damn, he's in the terminal from the old airport, because that's what this looks like. It looks like an old airport. It looks like there's a security cordon to go through. It looks like there's an electronic barrier at the top of the stairs to walk through to scan yourself. It looks like an abandoned airport. They just happen to know to pull up this piece of flooring in this whole destroyed building. They know that this piece of floor is wrong. They rip it off, and out comes Izzy. And this is another reason I believe that this episode's out of sequence. He impressed them so much in the Brothers Keeper appearance that they wanted to use this actor. And they're like, all right, we're going to use him. Like, everyone's here. Let's film another episode.
Yeah, he's basically
just do it.
He's basically like the same character, except he's more of a weasel, isn't he? While the other guy actually came across a little bit of a threat because he could cross-dress and blend in and kill his targets. This guy, He's just
He's
a
an
low
act.
level criminal who's willing to sell out his friends, just to avoid some jail time.
He
As we
also
see,
is starting
yeah,
to arc towards here's the thing. He gets in touch with some kind of guilt that happens off camera, but he does something redemptive. And when we get there, we'll
yeah,
explain
like
it.
he
But
shows a little
he
bit of a
doesn't have
humanity
to
to him.
he doesn't have to go and give Crockett what blows the case wide open at great risk to himself. So he's not just an informant. He's a guy on a redemptive arc. He's got some regrets about how he lives, but Crockett and Tubbs just like it looks like this guy is picking, spare metal out of the old escalator at the abandoned airport. We don't know what's up with this set. And this could have been filmed in New York. I don't know what happened. This may have been filmed right after Brothers Keeper with only like a hair of an idea. And like, let's just make an episode to reestablish Izzy while we have everybody on site and on location. And we have these other 2 episodes we already made. So we're only really approaching what we would call a familiar style for the show now. This show has been a little bipolar from episode to episode. It starts out really wanting to be Starsky and Hutch. Then a little bit had identity last week. Now it goes a little bit ambiguous again in a stylized episode, with not much story. And my assumption is we're going to land on our feet. We were too dark last week, but it was such a good story that they went with it.
Yeah, and obviously they're going here to be a bit more lighter now, aren't they? Because if you keep going dark all the time, it just gets a bit too. It kind of gets big. It loses its impact.
No one would do their job.
I know.
They would have walked off the case. Like their boss is always telling them their job is too tough. And one thing I think about this production company is, could they please hire some Irish people? As an Irish American, I was upset to see the lack of representation in the cast. Look, we got nothing but. We have a couple of gingers in this episode. We have our 3rd ginger in 3 weeks. I love the amount of just old school 80s-ness that we have to this. Even when we're walking the street, there are no overweight extras. Everyone's got a full head. Everyone looks great. Like the extras look fantastic. Everyone is good looking.
Only fucking Switek and the professor is a little bit overweight, and that's about it, really, isn't it? I mean,
I think the professor is in trauma movies too. I think he's in like Frankenhooker and other crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised. I need to watch that movie because
it's great. It's fun. You'll love it.
To watch during September and October when it gets a little bit, during that season. So
Frankenhooker is fun. It's fun. But here's our man, Lieutenant Castillo.
Yeah, no. So it's apparently this is like we learn this is his 4th felony, and he's writing out everyone he's known since 6th grade. But
he's going away for like 75 years. He's a 3-time loser.
This is where he starts talking about he robbed the bank with the starter pistol, but then the battery in the van died. So but now he's like, listen, I didn't want to do the thing in I didn't want to do the whole bank robbery in the first place. I know a big fish called Mcarthy. So he's basically selling people out just to avoid some jail time here. And
it looks like he screwed something up for McCarthy, and that's why he hit the bank to pay off this deadly killer. And that might be part of what
that would explain it as well. Yeah.
It's like, we're not going to jail a hungry man for stealing bread. Seems to be the way that Crockett and Tubbs are looking at this, despite the gravity of the crime.
Yeah, that would explain it a little bit as well, but I know he's got another job to do as well. He's gonna meet him on Monday, and they're very kind of skeptical of him as well. They think he's just saying whatever bullshit he can to avoid some jail time, but they're gonna give him 3 days to actually make good on what he's promising as well. Because he says like I love the line where he says, I once pushed 72 keys for him. He's like, buddy,
I pulled 72 kilos for him up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. But yeah, he starts saying how dangerous McCarthy is as well. Like he killed a mule girl because she was holding out on him and all that kind of stuff.
While she was dressed as a nun.
Yeah, dressed as a nun. Yeah, Lady killed her because she was holding out on him.
I love how Sonny has reverse sweat. All of his sweat is gone. There is no sweat marks, and his T-shirt grew sleeves. It was a sleeveless earlier. This might be the next day.
I think he changed. I think he might have changed into another blue shirt because it looks a little brighter. Or maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. But
if you live in Miami, and I did live in Florida, if you live in Miami, you do keep a spare shirt in the car. You do.
Yeah, that sounds
You
about right.
sweat through his shirt like sometimes. You just absolutely sweat yourself.
Yeah, that does. So yeah, they're going to give him a couple of days as well and see if he's going to make dough. So this is where they meet Mcarthy as well. He starts. Tubbs is really laying on the charm as well, saying, "Hey, it's good, but your setup's all wrong. You know, I got mine that goes at like 22 knots."
Yeah, he's showing his worldliness. Tubbs is extremely intelligent. He knows
He is,
exactly how to
yeah.
set up a marine cigarette boat. And Crockett, he's having a good old time here. Later on, when we drive these boats, we put on like these like race car driver style wetsuits, which makes sense. But here he is, just like zipping around in his speedboat, wearing his regular clothes, laughing, having a good old time, and at
Yeah,
least they're enjoying their job every once in a
Don
while.
Johnson, he is a big enthusiast in speedboat racing and all that, and you can really tell he must have got a right big erection when he saw the script and was like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm all about, baby. Oh yeah."
He wrote the part about how to set up the engines. He's like, I happen to know a little bit about setting up the engines here. I'll take care of that part of the script. Don't worry about it. It's like, you want to put the carburetor on the outside, man. And
Yeah, I love,
Tubbs is
and I do love, I do kind of like how Mcarthy's a little bit like intrigued by Tubbs as well. You know, because he's like, well, I like your style, but the answer's still no. Like he already knows that Tubbs is trying to sort of like do business with him or race him, either one of them. But he's not going to have him in because he's not going to have any ringers. But he's still going to give him a little chance, like invite him around to parties later on.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, here's our story. Right now, Tubbs is trying to make contact with Mcarthy, who is a major wheel and a thorn in the side of the entire East Coast law enforcement, moving so much cocaine. It's not funny. We got a couple episodes back. What is it? $70,000 a kilo. So 70 times 70, or $7,000 a kilo, right? So 70 times that, he moved a $500,000 worth of coke up to Pittsburgh with Izzy. And at this private marina type club, this is his cover. This is what he does to launder his money. He pretends to be the successful owner of a speedboat racing team, which is something you only do if you're already rich. There are no independent speedboat racing team owners. It's like if you own a hedge fund, you also sponsor a speedboat racing team. But
Well,
this
yeah,
guy
'cause
is
that's
kind of
what
a
he uses
one-man
as well.
show.
He uses it as a decoy, doesn't he? So, but that's the
It's
thing.
a disguise.
The fact that Tubbs is already sort of like using speedboat lingo as well. He's very impressed. So he is very curious about him, and yeah, even he charms the fuck out. Tubbs really charms the fuck out of him. He really does. But he's not going to do
A little bit. It
Yeah,
is a very charming. It's very reminiscent of "We're Not So Very Different, You and I, Mr. Bond." And what happens is
I know,
McCarthy.
and the fact that he's very impressed by Crockett as well with the speedboat because Tubbs has pretty much said, yeah, he's a wildfire, but he wins. And as we learn later, McCarthy loves competition. You know, he relishes it. He loves and we see
He's
that he does
gotten
have some
comfortable
respect.
he's gotten comfortable in his criminal life, so he can flex as a rich guy a little bit. So yeah, he's living a rich guy life too, like you
Yeah,
said. Like he wants to win this speedboat race. It's also his cover to smuggle a lot of drugs.
but he also seems very respectful to anyone who beats him. Though, like he likes someone who's putting him in his place a little bit. We see him at the end when he gets caught. He actually puts his hand up and says, "All right, you got me."
Yeah, he doesn't try to run. He doesn't pull a gun. He's like, yeah, well, that's I'm a white collar criminal. I'll get myself a
Hey,
white
Joshua.
collar lawyer and I'll flee later. Because as we've seen, we'll let a guy with 5 felonies who's going away for life with nothing to lose by fleeing, who speaks Spanish, who's 90 miles from Cuba, we'll let him go and walk around for a few days and see what happens.
Yeah.
So why not? Like McCarthy's like these idiots are going to let me out on bail and I'll escape later. I'm assuming later he just takes off camera, but he is a proper style villain. This is his henchman, one of his guys
This is
here.
his accountant, isn't he? And we found out later that because he already suggested that maybe he should do business with Sonny, but we found out later that this guy has been giving up a lot of his clients for Crockett and Tubbs for a good while, even though we haven't really seen this. So maybe, this episode has
They
been
compromised him at some point.
Yeah.
They've compromised this guy at some point. They could bring this guy back again and again. Whether or not they do, I don't know. He does survive the episode, I believe. And
No, he gets killed. He gets killed.
Okay,
Yeah,
And this
because we
might be
found
Detective
out
Metaboy.
that he's pretty much been bumping up his woman's
That's
account as
right.
well, and his boffin, and that's what leads to him getting killed, as we found
He
out later on.
he looks a little like Dick Ritchie from True Romance, but it's
Yeah,
obviously too old to be him. He
yeah,
also has
he kind of looks like a less nerdy fucking Michael Rappaport, doesn't he, with his hair up?
he looks like Michael Rappaport, or he also looks a bit like Detective Metavoy from NYPD Blue coming 10 years down the pike. So it could be the same actor. It's the same production company.
Yeah, there was a bit of a what's the name of the actor from CSI Miami?
Oh, that is Williams. It's the
Crusoe, isn't
you're
it? It's
talking
Crusoe something. I forgot his
David
best name.
Caruso. Yes,
David
David
Crusoe, that's it. Yeah,
Caruso.
he almost looks like him a little bit. I think is
He's
David
the other
Crusoe in it?
NYPD Blue actor. I was thinking of one of the supporting guys. Detective Metavoy is not one of the leads.
Mm.
He
But yeah,
becomes a more
look at his count, and they found out. Yeah, he's been. I mean, fucking hell, that the guy makes more in a month than Tubbs does in a year as he quips, and he's been pretty much paying a lot of money towards his woman for this fucking suit shop. You know, it's really lovely suit shop, everything. You know, and he's really giving her a lot of money, and
That's right. Yeah, an
he's skimming off it.
exclusive.
He's skimming off his boss for the woman he's having an affair with.
And give credit to Crockett and Tubbs. They're able to glance. They are playing good, like bad cop, worst cop. There's no cat and mouse here. They've got this guy. They can throw him in jail anytime they want. So he's going to cooperate. Like while they're like slick talking him, they don't have to do a lot more than glance. Now he intensifies his gaze. It's a good acting moment from Don Johnson and from Philip Michael Thomas, as they look at this ledger, but they don't look at it. Like they pick up right away that there's some shenanigans going on. They're like, "You're skimming. What happened to this money here? Where'd this go to? What are you doing with this?" And he's like,
yeah, you can. And when you make the argument that they've seen enough of this stuff as well to know when something's wrong.
They might be forensically tracking him. He might not. They might know more than he knows about. Let me rephrase this. They might be aware of more of his life than he knows they do.
Oh. But it's a good idea, a good way to infiltrate Mcarthy as well by going to the his girlfriend, played by what's her name? Let's get her name up.
She looks a little like Apollonia. It's a beautiful black girl with golden eyes. She has the rarest iris color. This doesn't happen much. I think it only happens in some black people. But rather than blue or brown or hazel, you end up with golden irises. And she has like almost golden eyes. They're really striking. She's a very striking woman. She resembles Williams.
She appears later, doesn't she? In the she appears later in season 3 as Crockett's wife. You know, the episode that kind of rips off High Noon, but it's Calderon and Tubbs is sort of like asking for help and no one's helping him.
I think this striking black woman is back as Crockett's wife. Do they switch up who his wife is? Because we've seen his wife and she's like a blonde white lady.
Yeah, well, he gets married in the third season and he goes on his honeymoon, and it's like a trap, isn't it, for Calderon Jr. to kill him.
Or is that how he ends up getting the magic amnesia?
No, they're talking about Sonny Crockett, aren't you?
Okay, yeah, okay. I've got now I understand what you mean.
Maria McDonald, that's the actress. That's her.
Like I said, they're not hiring enough Irish people. I don't see myself in this show.
Yeah.
We have Cubans, we have Irish people.
Yeah. But obviously
it's all for me.
Yeah, but he's getting the home for her right now as well, and Sonny can really see it on his face. I mean, look at him. He knows. It's like, yeah, you're getting lost in this girl's eyes, aren't you?
I can hear the seams ripping in your pants. And by the way, this is the 11th cigarette that Crockett has smoked in this episode. He has not stopped smoking except when he had to run. He only was not smoking when he ran. When he caught Izzy, he had a cigarette magically appeared. He has been just chain smoking and being a tough guy through this episode. It's a sort of a mismatch, but it's funny.
Yep. But you get some very good fucking funny one-liners here, where she's saying, "Don't tell me you have a wardrobe as big as this store, and you need more suits to fill up the rack." And he's like, "Well, he hasn't been spending any money in the last 4 hours. He's getting a little itchy." So once again, we're getting a good little back and forth banter between these two. Just like these two be charming. We've had a really harsh episode last time. Let's have a little bit of fun with these guys. Let's just enjoy these guys being fucking cool. And obviously he's trying to invite her to go out to brunch, and he's like, yeah, and Sonny can come too. And he's like, yeah, I think Sonny's going to be very busy right now. And Sonny Crockett has been a right cock blocker as well.
He's got plans. Yeah.
Like, I got nothing better to do. I love brunch. And the look on his face there and all.
When his Missouri accent comes out.
I know. I'm trying to fucking nail this hot chick here, mate. Please read the room. I'm reading the room, all right.
You've had sex with everything that moved for 5 episodes. This is like my brother has died. The captain died. I've been surrounded by horror and death. I've killed a couple of people. Can I like get some trim here? Can you back off, Crockett? Do you have to have? Does it have to be everything? You're repopulating the planet.
I know. She does eventually give in and say, "Okay, it's a date," but then they have this evening with Mcarthy. They're trying this very rare wine that's not very easy to find, and she's proper flirting with him in front of Mcarthy. I mean, you slut woman, Vanessa, you are a whore. And Mcarthy seems to be
I don't know what's up with McCarthy. He's so weird. He's like a Bond villain in this way too. It's like you're like a Bond. Keep the woman. I'll find another. Like that kind of aplomb. Like he doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, you know what? Both of these people are so good looking. If they pull something off, I'll film it and sell the movie, and I'll get a new girlfriend after I kill them both. I don't know what his style is here, but
does he like this stuff? Does he kind of like the competition of men trying to steal his woman from him? Is like, I don't know. He's a very weird guy, isn't he? Because he kind of confronts him later on in the episode at the party, and he's like, "Hey, are you macking on my girl?" And he's like, "So what if I am?" And he never said anything back. He's like
crazy.
He's cool about it.
I think the deal is this: she is really hot, and everyone would do anything to get with her. Anybody would do anything to get with her, but like for McCarthy, she's like his third girlfriend. It's like, I've got a wife in like California who doesn't know about any of this. I've got a girlfriend up in Jacksonville that I see when I'm on like a drug run. And there's like 3 chicks I'm dating across the Northeast who know nothing about each other. They're all rich. They're all gorgeous. And this one's like, just my Florida girlfriend. I don't care. That's it. Yeah. He's really just an operator.
He's a very weird guy, McCarthy. I mean, I give credit to the actor. Let me get his name.
He's good.
William Gray Espy. So, like, was he kind of a B-movie actor as well? Because I think I might have seen him in some stuff.
I believe that he has been primary henchman or, like small-time movie main villain a couple of times. He is familiar looking to me, and I do like his acting style, and I do like.
He's been in a few. He's been in a few. He's been on the streets of San Francisco as well. He's been on Chips.
There you go.
So yeah, he does look like a working a job in TV actor as well, because he's
specializing as the white collar bad guy, right? He's the guy.
Yeah, the last thing I see on his credentials, as an actor is The Young and Restless from 1973 to 2003. So who knows? He might have been on one of those older episodes.
That's a long run, bro. That's 40 freaking years, 50 years, 73 to 03. 30 years. That's exactly
30 years. Yeah, 30 years.
So he was working that when he did this. They were lucky to get him. He was a known face actor. And here's one thing about American TV from the 80s you should know. If you want to keep the ladies interested in your masculine show, you pilfer the good-looking guys from the soap operas. So for 30 years, this guy's job was to have sex with every chick who came across the town of, what is it called, Landview in The Young and the Restless?
Yeah, something like that.
He's with it till it ends.
He does look like he was more of a jobbing actor, would appear in like a few episodes. Nothing really too big, but he's still making do with he's still making do with the parties.
He's on Y&R for the whole run. It ends in 03. He's on it from the beginning till the end. He is a foundational and forever character in the 30-year history of Young and the Restless. The only soap opera I know anything about.
Yeah,
that in General Hospital. What can I tell you? They were on during my break in college.
I mean, he's not the most memorable villain, but like I said, it's given enough to sort of like make him tolerable, because he does seem very smart as well. Because Crockett mentions like well, the reason why we want to do business is because we had a buyer with 35 keys who just went short on us, and and it was all the way up north, so we decided to come down here. And it's like, and my name happened to pop out of your mouth. No, the answer's no. But come back from a party, though. I mean, he still seems very interested in me. He still seems to have some kind of like you see something in him a little bit, but we don't know what. We don't. It's kind of never explained why he's still
It's
sort of hanging out with these guys.
it's shark-like, it's Byzantine, and what we're seeing is he's very slick, and that arresting him won't be easy. But he's a different kind of criminal. This guy's refined. This
Yeah,
guy
does
has some
he?
class. He's going to good jail, no matter how convicted he gets. He's going to the jail from Wolf of Wall Street, a country club prison. He's not that concerned. He'll be out in 1/3 the time of anyone else, and he's just taking advantage of it. He's accrued a lot of money. The what I get from this guy, a seventh son of a seventh son raised with money and refinement, but there was just not enough left for him to have his take of the estate. And he very sort of in an entitled way is going out there. He doesn't care who he has to hurt. He's going to get rich too and keep up this lifestyle of polo ponies, cigarette speedboats, and other crazy things like the private marina club. And you can see the sparseness of the Miami skyline.
Yeah, because he seems like a guy who really loves to be on the edge a little bit as well. I wonder if he kind of suspects that there could be cops, but he's humoring them because it's like something of a challenge to him to see how far he can go by outsmarting them, see if they can get him. I don't know. It's once again,
he's a slight touch older, so he may have been in the game for a while. You're right. Like maybe instead of our cops playing cat and mouse, this guy's getting off on the danger of like, maybe they're cops. Let me fuck with them more.
Yeah, and we do mention, and we do go back and got back earlier with that. We made we get the information that it's like a 25,000 ante up as well, and they need that money because since he's refusing to do business with them, the only way they can probably try and find out what he's doing is by getting him in the race and see how he manages to smuggle his drugs. So,
right, because Tubbs has infiltrated the world of high-end speedboat racers who smuggle drugs. They think,
hey, David Dredd. Hey,
PB.
Davey. How you doing, man?
Hi, PB. It's great to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming out and seeing us again. PBE is the best. Hello to you from the home of William Shatner, the greatest actor of all time. By the way, do you recognize this location from the lost episodes in the final season? This is where he and Melissa Leo get jumped and he has to have that fight in the swamp. This is the same area.
Oh, shit, man. Nice one.
Thank you. I like
the fact Castillo is going through his contacts to try and get them the money as well, which we found out later ends up not being the case. But do check out his boat.
This is before
there's nothing there. They're wondering how the fuck are they finding out all the smuggling, and you can see that Tubbs is getting a bit too close to Vanessa. He's got feelings for her, but he's trying to make it out like no, he's just doing it to try and get Mcarthy rattled. Try and kind of have some grow some paranoia, some mistrust, make him not think straight. Try and get him make him do something stupid that might expose him. Who knows? It's all psychological, but really he's just getting a bit too close to Vanessa, which is probably one of the weakest parts of this episode. I really did not feel any chemistry or the total betrayal of it when it's revealed that Vanessa is the killer of Gifford. But yeah, we got this rocking party as well, and obviously they probably had to. They could only really afford to really get the band, not actually have the actual song.
It's a really good house band doing a really good cover of a very popular early MTV hit by Rod Stewart from good old Scotland. But these are a bunch of American guys. I don't believe the band we see performing it is the studio band, but who knows? They are playing the instruments correctly. They're fretting the guitar right, but what we have is a house band where the singer sounds just like Rod Stewart. Congratulations, you're not going to have a long career. Only he can go on forever screaming like that, shredding his voice. But they do a great version of Some Guys Have All the Luck, which I believe was incorporated into the show because the video has a PI theme.
It probably is because I think the reason why they had the live band as well it was because they had to pay some sort of credit to
lot of money.
to the songwriters, but if they had the actual song play, they probably have to pay it to the record companies. So they thought,
I'll give
okay,
it to you in 1 minute. I'll explain it to you very quickly in 1 minute. Here's how music and copyright rights work in the United States, and this will help you out in YouTube. Fair use, about 5 seconds. Okay, no big deal. You're not going to get gigged on that. Rolling. Let's go with the most expensive licensing song. The most expensive song to license is the Rolling Stones' "Satisfaction." It is $1 million a minute for a 2.5-minute song. If they sing it and you use their version, the full licensing fee for the full 2.5 minutes is about $2.5-3 million bucks. It's gone up every year. If you use their version, if you have other people use the song, like play the song, you cut it in half. If you do not use the chorus of the song, if you never go to "I can't get no," that you drop the price a little more. If it's only an instrumental, it goes down a little more. So what these guys have done is they've made it obvious within their show that it's not the original to get the artist off the hook. That probably got them a little bit of a break in the licensing, and they're getting better licensing on the songs than most people because people want their songs in this show at this point. All I would say is it is one of the reasons why we have a hard time getting Miami Vice reruns. You have to go pay another whole stream of licensing.
I mean, be surprised. So yeah,
that's why Beavis and Butthead isn't on.
Yeah, you better off just getting the box set.
When you see Beavis and Butthead, if you notice, the musical numbers are just gouged out. It's the same thing. They can't afford 2 sets of royalties. It would drive the price of the box set up. So it's like triple. Music royalties are different, and they're 2 lifetimes.
It's fucking shit. That really is. But they've got away with it though. The band's doing pretty well. So yeah, Kung Fu
band is great.
How are you doing, man? Hey.
Yeah,
I hope the
hey. Oh, hey, you silly camera.
Hey. We are just at the party scene where the band is playing there. Some guys have all the luck.
Yeah. That band is crazy. Some guys have all the luck.
All the luck. Really wrong with that voice.
They got a ring on their finger. Yeah, they're so lucky.
And it's Lionel Richie.
I owned this 45. I love Some Guys Have All the Luck.
Yeah, it's a great song. Then Rod Stewart did a strange version of that, which I didn't like that much, even though I like Rod.
It was hitting when this episode came out, though. It was a recent hit when this episode came out. I didn't realize that was a cover. I know that Rod doesn't write because he doesn't play an instrument. He writes lyrics when he writes.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, sorry, I lost my place now. But they're at the party as well. Everyone's looking all fucking cool. Everyone's rocking everything, and Vanessa is looking smoking hot, and yeah, she's really openly flirting with Tupton while Mcarthy's in there, and even Gifford shows up saying, "I need to take her for a dance," but really he's not. It's for a private talk, and
the way woman handles her afterwards.
Yeah, we got Izzy as well, looking fabulous in his own Izzy way. Fucking
It's a shame I couldn't join you guys at the beginning, but holy shit, his entrance was something else.
It was confusing, but he was powerful.
Yeah, we love Izzy. He's a total weasel, but God, does he steal every scene that he's in. Martin Ferrero, or Martin Ferrero Rocher, as I like to call him, because I don't know why. It just came to me.
He's about 45, so you got to figure he's got a lot more time in the business. He's delivering. They told him, look, you were in our pilot. We love your acting. Give us something different. And he's like, all right, well, I mean, I gave you my trans dressing killer. I guess I could be a weirdo guy who robs banks with no plan. And the only thing in this episode that kind of made me laugh with the ineptitude of it was when he finally does say what all the grease and marks on him are, that it's the dye packs have blown up on him. Crockett says, you can have soap and water when you tell us what we want to know. And what goes through my mind is, you can't wash that shit off. That's dyed into your skin for a month. That's the purpose of putting it in there. You will be purple for a month. It's to make it hard to get rid of the goddamn money.
Well, there'll be plenty of razor blades in prison to scrape that stuff off for him. So
Yes, that's the other thing too. He's way too young to be a four-time felony loser and be on the streets. He should have done about 28 years with ideal sentencing if he got the minimum for each one.
But this is like the only time we see him actually do an extreme crime like this. All these other crimes later on, it's just these stupid little conning schemes. That's it. Just very small time, very kind of pathetic schemes, as I should say.
And he reverses them right away as soon as you're wrong to steal from old ladies. You're right, can I give the money back? And then you actually see him walking away from the old ladies later. Like they make sure to be redemptive with this character. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, because I mean, if he was an actual full-on scumbag, you'd be wondering, why are our heroes hanging out with this guy? He's not a good guy at all. He's terrible. But no, he's like, he does almost bring a little bit of sympathy to this character a little bit occasionally. But that's why he's a little bit more memorable as well. Yeah, he's a bit of a lowlife, but he's a very hilarious lowlife. And
he's the masculine version of the hooker with the heart of gold. He really is.
I just love Mcarthy in this scene as well. He's just played this.
He's got a great ass.
And the other guy's not had a chance. He's not got one shot. McCarthy has kicked his ass.
McCarthy's got a great
this
ass.
Shows what sort of
that is a hiney, man.
Yeah. You can see why the ladies love him.
It'd be like, hey, McCarthy.
But it shows just how fucking full of himself he is as well. I mean, he's telling this story about this guy called Marty who owned like these chain of shops, but he wanted a bit more excitement, so he started racing boats. But then the guys who were supposed to race the boats for him fucking went off with the boat and disappeared. And then they found it a month later and got stripped up by the Coast Guard. It's
the actor who plays McCarthy.
I got the idea that those guys went rogue and went on a drug run, or they got jacked and the boat was taken away by pirates who did a drug run. That was my thought on that one.
Yeah, it is a very more lighter episode. Anyway, I kind of get it. I like it a bit better than I used to, but it still doesn't top the last episode. But obviously,
the last episode was so intense. The thing is, we walked away shaken. This one, you walk away like lighthearted. It's not as deep of an episode. It's a different vibe, but I would say this one is actually like pretty damn close to equally effective to what we saw last week.
No, there was one outstanding piece. There's actually one really outstanding moment in this, but when we get to it, you'll know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, my Starsky and Hutch box sets arrived today.
Nice one.
1 to 4.
That's sweet, man.
They're all secondhand, so I ended up paying like £27 for all of them and saved myself $25 in the process. I haven't gone through them yet, but the covers are beautiful. So I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, that, I know.
We've still got time.
Yeah, I mean, season 4 and 5 is are the weaker seasons, but there are still some good bangers occasionally as well, which is good. And yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, this definitely does have some very weaker elements. I think Tubbs is the theme that's supposed to be Tubbs' theme, where he's flirting with Vanessa at the soap shop, is really is not memorable compared to Crockett's theme. It really isn't that. It's really weak.
Steals Tubbs' scene. You're right, and you mentioned this before when you alluded to it when you were doing your Crockett imitation, which I've come to love. I love the British take on American culture. I love Captain Rodriguez and John Leguizamo and all the other stuff that we bring to the table. But
John Leguizamo.
Don't ever.
I don't know if I'm Italian or Latin. I can't pick a fucking lane. Okay.
Anybody who tells him the real way to say that actor's name will have to answer to me. But here we are immersed in the world of the rich and the famous of Miami, and even the sketch Rich and Famous. What we're getting here is Miami's a city on the up and come, so the rich people here are kind of classless nouveau riche. Like, one of the recurring themes of all Miami Vice episodes is these criminals are doing it for money, but they're still scum. So the way I always say is, in Miami Vice, they keep reproving money doesn't buy class.
It doesn't buy common sense. It doesn't buy decency. And but McCarthy he's not really unlikable. He's an asshole, and full of himself. But he's kind of got this little redeeming moments where he seems to admire when people beat him. He seems to relish the competition. And yeah, Crockett fucking beats him because they've made a bet now, haven't they? Where if he loses, Crockett loses Ferrari, and he's like, oh, so I get to ride in your Ferrari? I was like, no, you get to ride in your Ferrari.
Yours.
That's when he's interested. That's when he's interested as well,
Yeah.
because Crockett has sort of like played to his ego a little bit. It's sort of like addictions for competition. But
The
yeah,
actor who plays McCarthy reminds me of a much older Josh Hartnett. He's got that look about him.
yeah, he's kind of got
a really good catch.
because I just looked at his profile on IMDb. He's kind of got these really luscious locks, man. So, but he's kind of one of these jobbing actors where you probably won't recognize him until you see him in one of these old shows. So.
Yeah. What's his name again?
William Gray SB.
SB.
No.
Yeah, he's the
like
last
you said,
thing he
he's
was
got
in
that
was
face.
The Young and the Restless, which was like from the 70s all the way to
Oh,
2003.
interesting. He's one of those actors. That's cool.
He was on Young and the Restless. I'm gonna guess he was recurring but not regular. What they have to do with American soap operas, they film every day. They occasionally get so far behind they go out live. So what's going on with him is he's showing up and doing one storyline, and sometimes he'll have a heavy week, and sometimes he won't be on for a week, and then sometimes he's just marbled through and walks into a scene and goes, "Hey, what's going on?" Like at the restaurant in Landview, the town from Young and the Restless, and he does the whole run of the show.
Yeah. Does anyone got any opinions on the song that plays during this scene as well? It's I'm trying to look it up. I don't think I've had this one before.
I recognize
the song.
I
Go insane, just like I do. Lindsay Buckingham. That's it. Go Insane by Lindsay.
Yeah, from Fleetwood Mac. It's the Fleetwood Mac guy. This is during his
on the German radio station, Zadut 80s. It's a good song.
Yeah, it is a very, very cheesy song. It's like it's really 80s. This.
Oh,
song.
listen, mate. When we get to Sheena Easton and her cheesy song, because I got the Miami Vice soundtrack on my iPod, I heard it, I thought, you know what? Normally I'd scrub that, but A, it's Sheena Easton, and B, it's Miami Vice. So I'm just going to leave it on there.
Isn't it true Sheena Easton went to the same Scottish high school as the guys from the Jesus and Mary chain, and they were all there at the same time?
They probably did, but she got her break in fame with I think it was called The Big Time on BBC One. So way before we had like the X Factor and all that shit. She was she did her thing and then suddenly went into she had I think the 80s was just her biggest period ever, and she ended up on Miami Vice. I mean, what more could you ask for?
She's not a very good actress on Miami Vice, but she's so gorgeous. If they with a little bit of training, they could have done something.
She is good, but she is good at the witty one-liners. I'll give her that, even though sometimes her acting is a bit stilted. Like when she's like,
if you're American,
find the truth. So I was like, oh, okay, you're right. Just stick to the one-liners, love. You're actually,
If you're an American, her voice is arresting. She has an interesting Highland burr or whatever kind of Scottish accent you would call that.
So yeah, I'm loving fucking Tubbs' fucking shirt here as well. Crockett's got this sort of like green shirt underneath this sort of like dark evening suit with the dinner jacket. That's and then you got the band playing Self Control by
Laura Branigan. You couldn't get Laura Branigan to join these guys. I mean, come on, there's
that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
And Laura Branigan was in an episode of Automan as well.
Way too young, that woman. She really did. She was in William Shatner's.
R.I.P. Laura Branigan.
She was very talented. The one thing was in her acting roles when they would portray her as drop dead gorgeous. Like, no, Laura's just very talented. She's not the most gorgeous woman in the world. She's not ugly.
No, she's cute.
I think she died young.
Something about her as well.
I think the problem with her was she didn't live as long as she could have because she smoked a lot. If you listen to her song,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I get that impression. But I like the different singers they have with this band as well. You got the white guy going, "Some cars have all the luck." Then you got this black guy coming up going,
"It's karaoke before it was karaoke."
Let's face it, Rod Stewart sounds like a black guy. He's from the British faux Motown craze, Rod Stewart. He does have a black kind of voice. Closer to a black woman, to be honest. He's a little closer to Tina Turner than he is to any kind of,
Thank God he wasn't close to Ike. That would be a bit weird.
Who's had more guys, Rod or Tina?
Let's have a look. What's the band? All Night. There it is. Some Guys Have All the Luck. Written by Jeff. It's performed, but he never says it. It's got a big question mark on it. So yeah,
here's the thing, that it's their house band. It's a CBS orchestra put together of studio musicians. They never bothered getting a name. They're the CBS Miami Vice like atmospheric music band. They're the same guys that we hear in every episode. They are probably a really high-end New York or Miami area wedding band that just can play every cover and has like we see when we see them, one guy is just playing the tambourine. You would assume that non-instrumentalist singer steps to the microphone for certain kinds of songs where his voice is more well suited for, and maybe they have a female member who sings like duets and female voices with them. This was a high-end wedding band. Think a late night talk show band, like Letterman's band, like Paul Schaefer and the guys.
Yeah. So yeah, she's getting off with fucking Tubbs as well, and Mcarthy's watching. And I was listening to the Vice and Easy podcast, and she was talking about, is there some kind of cuckold thing going, because he's sort of stroking his chin, all sort of like very villain-like, isn't he? Yum, yum, he's stroking his chin because I'm a villain.
Like Castillo says, the man's got character.
He only pulled her into this so he could use her this way. He's got like 5 other women. That's my impression. He's too nonchalant, and he's too tough to get cucked, and he's too non-caring when it happens. Like, who cares? He doesn't want to watch or anything. He's like, I don't care. I
used to dress like Crockett here, actually. The simple t-shirt and the nice suit jacket. Love it.
Yeah, no, he's looking good. I mean, look at Izzy as well in his fucking
wearing dark
colors and everything. I mean, that's the kind of style he is. He's a very sort of tacky style guy, isn't he? He'll wear anything that's very, very flamboyant. But yeah, this does seem to be a bit of a redeeming moment, because he actually does seem very concerned. He's trying to tell him something that we found out later is Vanessa is going to kill Gifford as well. He's trying to probably get Sonny to stop him, but it ends up being too late because Crockett just ignores him, doesn't he? He thinks he's going to blow up cover, doesn't he? But yeah, he even confronts him saying, are you marking on my girls? So what if I am? But then someone screams, and they found Gifford's body, and she's like, oh, I totally didn't kill him. Oh my God, I'm so surprised. So the next day they're at the station, and he's like, why did Gifford die? It's like, Gifford died because he was a thief and a snitch, and he's from Yale. Which is
died from lead poisoning.
Proper made me laugh. It really did as well, because they suspect Mcarthy did it as well, because he was also boffing Gifford, and because he found out about he was skimming money off his account to give to her. So, and it also, and Tubbs is really in denial about this as well, because he's getting the googly eyes for her, which once again doesn't really have that much impact. I really didn't buy that kind of chemistry between them in this one, but now we just felt
forced.
Yeah, but now we found out that Downtown is not going to give them the 25,000 to get in the race, because they don't have confidence in Sonny's boat racing, and Sonny's like, well,
or his investigative skills, or his investigation skills. The captain says that they're like, maybe, we need to kick this up to better investigators. Not a lot of faith in you downtown. So I would have more faith in him as a speedboat driver than an investigator too. I don't. The one thing that is a little bit of a problem, they allude to it, but they don't really do it, is all of our clothes, all of our cabin cruiser, all of the things that Sonny uses, his little, pad by the marina, because we find out he has an apartment. He just never goes there. He basically lives as this drug dealer. All this stuff has come from a program from the United States in the mid-'80s, where if you're a criminal, they can take your stuff and use it to run sting operations or sell it to finance anti-drug operations. So the fact that they didn't have $25,000, when we hear about all the money moving through Miami and all the busts, it's like, yeah, you know what? Just go peel off $25,000 from the $70 million in $5 bills we have downtown, taking up space.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they probably still have some fucking evidence money lying around, and but I know, you kind of got to move on with the plot.
Or high-end police-made counterfeit. You know what I mean? They have their own police-made counterfeit operation to put out marked money.
Yeah, but wouldn't criminals kind of found that out as well? I mean, I don't really know. I'm not really well versed in that kind of stuff.
I know that the police trap money once before you go away for a long time.
But he has found another way where they can get the money, and that's from Gina and Trudy. And fucking Castillo doesn't let them know anything about it. They just have fucking Sonny Crockett rush in and say, "Hey, I'm just here to make sure you get refreshments. I'm definitely not going to confiscate the money you are confiscating from a guy you're arresting."
He really lets his Missouri accent out in this show, and I think it's because he's playing a more mischievous version of himself. Like, his character, for the first time, maybe since Brothers Keeper, is not the main point of view character. That's shifted back a little bit more Tubbs. So he's the almost comic relief in this, and we see the versatility of, as we've called him, charming motherfucker Don Johnson, as he just segues back into a more supporting role where he is just amplifying this episode with his comedy, his laid back takes, and like the way he loves just sort of giving it to Philip Michael Thomas a little bit to make it, squirm, make him a little uncomfortable, and razz him. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they are very funny in this. I mean, this is a really funny episode. This bit's real funny as well because
it is.
I know you've got Zito as the fucking lifeguard as well, who's not looking very tanned and fucking swipes. He's like, "Hey, I was in the high school swim team." And he's trying to chat up his best.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, I saved like 3 or 4 lives, and she's like, I saved 3 or 4 lives last Monday. He's like, well, I wasn't here Monday. It's like, was it Sunday? It might be Sunday.
I mean,
for you, early in the morning on Sunday.
By the way, Bastard, take it back to that previous frame because I just want to educate the kids out there. Basically, yeah, the Beach Blonde back in the day. You think of Van Halen, David Lee Roth with the fabulous mane of locks that he had, and you see this girl right here kind of epitomizes LA gear, the whole brand.
She does, yeah, proper.
It looked good, and now it's just it doesn't look good. Yeah, love it. Just takes you back.
You see her dark roots
background. Love it. Great shot.
Her dark roots are really selling the kind of like
it's selling the
aspect of her look. Yeah,
classic looking babe, man.
It's very Florida. She's very Florida.
Yeah, she almost looks like the chick that Manny was chatting up in at the beginning of Scarface. When his friend is getting carved up with a chainsaw.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And she had a bit of a history as well. And there's actually a bit of a weird history with her as well because sometime after that movie she went missing, and I don't know if she was found. Yeah, it was. It's really dark case. But moving on, we get we get Frank Liberty.
We get Trudy's butt. Yep.
Yeah, Trudy's butt, and Frank Liberty from fucking Day of the Dead as this college professor who's selling drugs,
and he's done some of them because he's absolutely tweaking.
I know he's got some good lines. I've got the lines right here as well. I've got to say them. It's like, this stuff is guaranteed to keep your tamale wagging. I'm going to make it a requirement in my philosophy 101 class. That's better than reading satire. Hey, pump some of that into you, and you know the true meaning of being and nothingness.
Not only does he have a few good lines, he's done a few thick good lines. He is definitely had a few rails of coke.
Yeah, so now so obviously they do the deal, they pull the guns out, and he does a fucking runner. So yeah, this is very sort of like Starsky and Hutch as well. They do this foot chase as well, which is not good for Zito because he's running in these flip-flops, but how the fuck are they not catching up with this guy, the women? I mean, he's very out of shape.
Zito's gun belt like grows out of his shoulder. It just appears. I mean, I know how he's getting away from it. It's like Sonny was like, damn, I shouldn't have had that 80th cigarette this morning.
Yeah.
He needs to be pushed along by Tubbs. And if this out of shape, drugged up idiot hadn't fallen in the sand, he gets away. He gets away.
Yeah, he makes a very memorable small appearance. It's a shame when I don't know if we do see him in some other episodes, but if not, then it's a damn shame as well because I love him. I love him in Day of the Dead. I really do as Dr. Frankenstein. So yeah, it's like, you did a really good job. I'll just take this off you. And she's like, what's up? And he's like, listen, we need the money for some race so we could get some drug dealer. And she's very skeptical because this could mean 10 years of pay wage
salary, yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing with fire here, isn't he? He's gambling on money which he might not be able to recover and could jeopardize their fucking job here. And Trudy's. So yeah, it's a big risk, that. So yeah, but now they've got the money, but he's also got in contact with a guy who can get them a speedboat, one with an extra 22 knots, is it? Pitch power, something like that. And we get this really easy love scene, and yeah, she's gorgeous, man. She is
cheesy scene as hell, but that score by Jan Hammer, I'm going to assume it's him, is amazing. Great score.
I'm really not into this kind of stuff. And I love Jan Hammer.
Transition, like, oh, it's fading out now. Oh, suddenly, no, there's more to come.
I think this gets used again in Definitely Miami, doesn't it? This bedroom. Because a lot of the times these sets do get recycled, don't they? I mean, we see, look at the Tony Amato's home in the last episode. I mean, that gets used a lot in other episodes. I think it gets used in the final episode of season 2.
It's where Melanie Griffith kills Sulu.
So yeah, then so now they have this. Now the race is starting. Everyone's cheering on. Yeah, they're cheering on fucking Mcarthy as well, and then then fucking Sonny and Crockett show up in this boat to Born to be wild, and it's
man, and now I know why it's a licensed track, because they nearly use all of the song.
Yep, and this was kind of like breaking the rules a little bit as well, because they weren't supposed to have any reds in this because it's Miami Vice. You got to have pastel colors, but I think something came up where it was required that they had to just make an exception with it because of the crew members with it, whatever. But
there's only so many cigarette boats.
It's a cool color, man.
Yeah. There's only so many of these boats. They cost a fortune, and I believe this is the same speedboat race from our opening credits. They're running up the same canal.
Yes, yeah, you're correct. I would imagine the speedboats back in the 80s would probably cost maybe 40 or 50 grand a pop. Back then, it would have been cheap, but I might have that price wrong. Just doing
I would think $250,000. These are really special. Yeah, because now they'd go for $7 or $8 million easily.
Oh, screw that! I was way off, kids. Well, back in the early 70s, maybe.
Jeez. Yeah, we're really going to need to sell a shitload of drugs to get some top vehicles like that.
Holy shit!
If they didn't want to give him the 25 grand, what they could have had thrown in there as a line is the lieutenant could have said, "Sonny, you already got a $750,000 cigarette boat. Believe me, they believe you're rich."
Yeah, I'm just looking at the trivia.
You'll pay them later; they'll believe you.
Here it goes, because the boat race is one of the very few times the colour red appears on the show. Red was one of the colours Michael Mann banned from use on the production of the series, but owing to the fact the extra boats taking part in the race were simply owned and crewed by members of the public, the production team had to relent on this occasion and allow the red speedboat to take part. And I think it works as well, because it sort of distincts his boat a little bit, doesn't it, when they're trying to spot the decoys. So yeah, if you've seen one boat, that's great. If you've seen a load of boats, that's great. It's like, how are you going to tell if Mcarthy made the decoy? Oh wait, there's that red boat there, and but now he's making a decoy with another red boat as well to throw us off the scent and divert our attention. So yeah, it's real good as well. You see that Mcarthy is a very smart guy as well. He's loving the danger and and they win the race as well.
I actually really do appreciate this episode as time goes by, because the reason why I was late, but I'll tell you off screen, fellas, why I was late.
Yeah, do tell us off screen, all right. Keep it private.
But just having watched it, I thought, you know what? Yeah, I really dig this episode. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I like this score. This is one of the better John Hammer scores in this as well. And that and the one at the beginning as well, John, the bank robbery, which gets the milk run episode, I think it's called. So yeah, and it is really stunning. That great aerial shot where you see all the boats just all that once so far. I mean, damn man, it really is. So yeah, Michael Mann, Anthony Yakovic, every guy who directed these episodes, including both Starsky and Hutch, have really they really excelled themselves. They did. And I love how Mcarthy is just like, well, you beat me. I got respect for you, man. He's kind of fucking courteous. He's not a petty asshole or anything like that. He kind of admires that when someone bests him. And he's a guy who loves to show how good he is and all. He's got an ego, but he seems to have some kind of self-awareness about it. So yeah, a Miami Vice escape from television.
Oh, thank you, Davy Dread. Oh, excellent. I've been looking for a Jan Hammer dedicated Miami Vice piece. Thank you.
As long as it's got Evan on there, I might look into it.
I'll have to buy that.
Yeah. But then he sees the cops are all coming in and everything, and he tries to escape, but then he sees the cops are all behind him, and is like, oh my God, I totally did not see that big boat that was behind me.
By the way, does he know Castillo? Because the way he looks at him, he's like he almost recognizes him.
I don't know. I mean, it's never really explained. What I got from him was like, okay, you got me. You know what? Hey, it's a fair cop. Fair cop.
I think the deal is his criminal instincts turn on, and he's like, this is a captain. Either that, or he's good enough at his job is that he knows everyone above lieutenant. He knows who they are. I was like, there's only about 8 or 9 like commanding officers in this whole small town police force. I'll memorize them, but he sees Castillo, and whether it's the old Golden Triangle connection, could this guy have been another Golden Triangle guy, or whether or not it's just like, all right, this guy has the bearing of military intelligence, or like, oh, geez, because as his other guys look behind, he doesn't bother to turn around. We've noticed the Coast Guard has wedged in his boat, and he's not going anywhere.
Yep. So, and they've figured out how he's managed to smuggle in the drugs as well. So they've got that, and the look on the face as well. She's kind of like, yeah, I'm getting away with this. Yeah, I totally am. And then we get the cheesy sort of Tubbs theme as well that plays, and they have their nice little moments. And yeah, and Gina's really happy, and that Sonny won the race. They got the money back. She doesn't lose her job, and she gets to jump on Don Johnson's while Elvis watches, because Elvis is just lying and fucking do it. The dirty bastard. What a dirty alligator.
You can do things like that when you're made of plastic resin. This was the fakest Sonny Elvis yet, rather.
I'm now pervert. If I wasn't plastic, I'd move the hell out of here. That shit grosses me out. How you doing, man? Yeah, a lot of us. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, right,
definitely,
right,
man. I'm proper get Vice City vibes watching some of these racing episodes. Yeah.
Wasn't Philip Michael Thomas in that particular game?
He was, yeah. He played Lance Vance.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, GTA 6, when that comes out, that's going to definitely reference Miami Vice in many, many ways. You can kind of see in some of the things.
Well. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. Yeah, despite the
chat from Toxie.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the chat, man. He's in the chat. Maybe he didn't get a chance to watch the episode, or is dealing with transients or sad pieces in the hotel, going crazy. Who knows? It's but yeah, you're always welcome, man. If you do get a chance to watch the next episode, Glades. I think it's Glades, is it? Yeah, it's Glades. So yeah, should because that's another good episode. And this is one that is a lot better than this episode because it's both fun and it's not too dark either. But it's actually a lot. It's got much more memorable characters, in my opinion.
I'd love to pick his brain about how much this episode was about Vice City more than any other episode, except that at different times we see a couple of different people choosing the white leisure suit with black button-down shirt, which is part of that game.
PB, yeah, that scene with Castillo, the boat being detained at the dock, unfolds in the silence rarely seen in TV shows. Everything is conveyed without a word. Yeah, because back then, people didn't have TikToks and they were addicted to their phones, unlike now. If this was made today, they'd probably be explaining it, saying, whoa, this guy looks like a cop, I better give myself up. And it would be totally said with no inner monologue or anything like that. It's easy show.
Maybe because you have smart people working behind the scenes.
Because they respected the audience.
The old school.
Let's put that in context. As you said, if this was today, first of all, if this was today, when Trudy and Gina wrapped up the case, administrative assistants Crockett and Tubbs would have come up there with female and amazeballs Lieutenant Castillo, played by, I don't know, Salma Hayek would have been a good person to have. Was she of age at this point? She's like 60 now, right? So she could have pulled it off. I would have believed a hot 25-year-old captain. Just let her be in charge.
Oh, there you go. Look, we're being held hostage now.
Yeah.
By Mr.
Hey, well,
AI
come on and
Beard
tell
Man
you how you
down
go on
there.
Toxic Thursday. Yeah, show up on Toxic Thursday. You'll have fun, man. Believe me.
Yeah. No, I should be there without any issues, I hope. Yeah, I should be fine. Toxic, you
hopefully, man.
saucy man, you.
Yeah. So yeah, Izzy shows up, and because he was trying to tell Crockett what he was trying to tell about the party as well, because I think he was warning him that Vanessa was going to kill Gifford, but it was too late. But now he's got the murder weapon, and he tells it was Vanessa who did it. And yeah, now Crockett has to do the very harsh thing of telling him that the woman he's got simping over was the murderer. And it's like, I've got to arrest you. I'm a cop. I have to. It ends with that ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he says, let me do it. Like, yeah, I thought he's taking ownership because he fucked up. He wasn't meant to get involved with the target, so to speak, or the decoy or the distraction, So yeah, he had to own it and make up for it. But I guess Sonny Burnett wasn't really that impressed because he said, I'm warning you, you're going to go down a hole you don't want to go. And he entered several holes, apparently.
Yep.
He bat for the cycle, as we say here in America. You know what? He's a better cop than Crockett. I think that the reason he wanted to arrest him himself, he's like, Sonny, I got a feeling with a woman this good looking, you're going to find a way to overlook the murder, the other stuff she did, the money laundering, the drug dealing. She needs to go to jail for what she's done. And I have a funny feeling that when Melanie Griffith kills like 3 people and just says she's not a hooker, that's going to be good enough for you to let her go. She's a serial killer and you let her go. You're into looks-based justice, Sonny. So I'm going to bring this one in. I'm the more level-headed cop.
Yeah, you kind of notice how the switch roles as well, because sometimes it's Crockett, that's the voice of reason when Tubbs is being a little naive or vengeful, but then sometimes Tubbs will end up being the voice of reason when Crockett's a little naive and vengeful too. But yeah, I'm going to give my overall verdicts now, and then we'll go on to best outfit, best music moment, favorite quote, favorite main character, favorite guest character, and our final rating. So verdict. It is more lighter than the previous episode, and despite not matching the quality of No Exit, there was still some fun to be had. Johnson and Thomas feel even more comfortable on screen together. They've got some really good back and forth, some good banter. You can see Johnson is enjoying driving these cigarette boats. I mean, he must have had an erection when he read that script, and he's like, we got to do boat racing? Oh, I'm in it for that, Melly. I'm over there. And William Gillespie is okay in the role as the egotistical Mcarthy, but I do like a little bit of his character sort of traits, like he admires competition and isn't a total dick when someone beats him. He never becomes petty or petulant. And Thomas and Maria McDonald don't have that much chemistry, and the Rico Blues theme is not Jan Hammer's best. It just seems very generic in comparison to his much better scores. And especially compared to Crockett's theme, but we get the introduction to Izzy, who, despite being this sort of secondary Weasley snitch to Nuggy, Izzy shows he would be the better character, especially after Charlie Bartlett's rivalry with Don Johnson and his smack habit would get him kicked off the show. And there's a great cameo from Dr. Frankenstein from Day of the Dead as the college professor moonlighting as the drug dealer and sleazing his way onto Gina and Trudy, and the final boat race where the team show up to Born to Be Wild got a big smile out of me. So yeah, that's my overall verdict on the episode. And Admiral Teague, your overall verdict.
Okay, I think you nailed it with the idea that this was still a quality episode, but of a much different nature of the last one, which was dark and gripping, and you walked away. I don't know if it wrecked your day, but for like a few minutes after that episode, you're like, man, wow. Like, this episode, we have much more atmospheric, much more enjoyable. We get to see what a not as terrible day on the job as Miami Vice police officers is. A job that is, as soul crushing as it. This is an amusing case if you're Crockett.
It is, yeah.
If you're Tubbs, it's a little more emotional and close to the heartstrings. But I mean, hey, it seems like he got laid out of it. So, what the hell does he get? It's like, is it Detective Tubbs, is it true that you repeatedly had sex with the suspect? Hey, man, I didn't do that. That was me Jamaican doppelganger, man. What I do undercover stays undercover. It's like, is it true that you got the cycle with this woman? And she's like, he was in every orifice of my body, and now he's going to send me to jail. It seems unfair. It's like, sir. I think that even at this point, lawyers like the famous Leslie Abramson with the abuse excuse would have been able to get her off with she was manipulated by powerful men, and she just would have walked out of there and wrote a book. So the fact that she does go away, that is possibly the triumph of the episode. But yeah, Mcarthy, I give him a little more credit than you do. I thought that he kind of raised an average episode where they're like, this episode was let's roll out Izzy and get this episode out of the way. Our cast is still mostly there. We can dub a lot of this dialogue. We can get a serviceable episode done, because this episode is more serviceable, enjoyable, and atmospheric than it is good. That beginning is thrown together. It looks like shit. Was there other B-roll?
Exactly. Yeah, no, because we mentioned this before at the beginning, Kung Fu Hot Dog. It's like, okay, was he robbing this empty bank, or did he rob a bank and then run into this building? It's never really explained. It. I think we do see.
Did someone rob the bank and dump the money there?
I don't know. I think he did. Wait, actually, come to think about it, he mentions he had the starter gun. He got in the van after he robbed the place, and then the van died. So yeah, he probably did rob another bank and run into that building, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm getting from it anyway.
We just kind of drop into this crime in progress. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and all we know is, hey, it's manic, it's criminal, it's chaotic,
we're not there yet, man.
Vice.
We're not there yet, Cosmic Older, but I'm looking forward to that episode. Was it the Smuggler's Blues one? Is that what you're on about?
We're getting close, but that's still about a half season away, if I have that right. It's a good episode.
Yeah, we're still a few episodes away.
Don't worry. We're going to topple a couple of third world governments, even though we're just city detectives anyway. It's going to happen. All right. Major players in Val Verde and other fictional South American countries, Crockett and Tubbs, pulled more coups than the CIA.
Okay, man. So yeah, that's your final verdict. So is there anything else you want to add?
Episode a B+. It was good. Yeah. It was fun, but this wasn't must-see TV or gripping. You could miss this episode and just keep going on. This
I agree.
My verdict on this one, aside from the fact it was watchable, this seems to have been a script that was tried to be sold to Magnum PI before they went around and it's like, hey, Miami Vice, you want this story? It feels very Magnum with the speed boat race and everything else. So, and am I supposed to give my favorite outfit, or is that next?
We'll do that next. We'll do that later anyway. Go off.
I remember this from last week.
Tell it. Yeah, let Kung Fu Hot Dog do his verdicts, and then we'll go best outfit. We go all around from 100%. The different sections. Okay, so yeah, Kung Fu Hot Dog. Your overall verdict on the episode?
Yeah, I watched it literally 1.5 hours ago, and that opening scene where Crockett and Tubbs are running up, I imagine that's in an abandoned bank, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that, or it's under construction, something like that. It's never explained.
I mean, it's
just like a commuter airport. I felt like it was a commuter airport.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a small place. Yeah. There was something weird about that. It had a terminal like feel.
It was great. I'm a sucker for stuff like that, like abandoned or architecture being constructed. So I love that opening scene. The fact that Crockett and Tubbs are running up the escalators almost in synchronicity. Love that bit. You see Martin Ferrero getting all covered up in gunk and grime and dirt. And I think, an overall rating from me about the episode will be probably a B-. Again, the cheesy stuff with Tubbs and Vanessa didn't really work. It's the 80s. It's of its time. I can totally forgive it for that. And something you got to remember as well, ladies and gentlemen out there, this was the time that Marvel Comics still had people like Jim Shooter, Stan Lee, all the greats working for them at their New York headquarters. And then you've got the reason why I mention them, because you still had the old guard behind TV shows like this. And would you get that now with the modern day TV series? Of course you don't.
No, so
I can't forgive it for his transgressions there. Oh, I said trans. How dare I? You homophobe, you.
Yeah,
The speedboat mission, the airport, the heist, the sleazy Izzy character, and of course, Tubby Tubbs,
all in GTA Vice
City. City.
Yeah, Vice City. Yeah, thank you for the overall, and we've probably got some best music moment as well. It's definitely Born to Be Wild. It just makes the scene more kick-ass as well. It's like you don't see Sonny and Crockett anywhere when McCarthy is getting showered with applause from everyone before the race starts, but then they show up. Born to Be Wild kicks in. They're in the boat. They look like they're having fun. I mean, it's well shot. It's very adrenaline pumping, and yeah, it just really it's really enjoyable. And I don't like the other band playing Some Guys Have All the Luck and Self-Control, but Born to Be Wild, man, you just can't beat that fucking song, though. You can't. So I'm going to favorite music moment.
I'm going to go against everyone else and say that my favorite music moment was Some Guys Have All the Luck.
Interesting.
It was well performed. It's a song that I've always thought had a lot of charm. I love the lyrics. I thought that them taking the Rod Stewart approach was typical for the time, so that made sense. I can't wait to hear the original. There's something very snappy and upbeat about that song. That's great. No one can get it wrong, perhaps, as long as you know how to play. So the house band or whatever, the NBC orchestra really knocked it out of the park with their version of the song, and the band on set to double them, whatever, they were perfect too. And I thought that was a very good use, this is such a Miami Vice thing. That wasn't just like music playing while the episode happened. That song was kind of perfect for Tubbs and the way he's talking to Vanessa and all the things that are going on. It's just like, all of my friends, they got a ring on their finger. Yeah, they're so lucky. And it's just like he's feeling lonely. He's feeling like, here I am, like a 34-year-old, cop or whatever I might be. And where's my life? All I do is have meaningless sex with all these beautiful women, one beautiful girl after another, and it means nothing to me. Like Frank Drebin. Yo, sure, they were beautiful. It's like it's sort of like trying to feel bad for Matthew Perry. It's like, yeah, he had a tortured life, but I would like to get over Liz Hurley by dating Salma Hayek. I'll give that a try before I give up and do drugs. But yeah, I'm gonna say Some Guys Have All the Luck. Beautifully reperformed and recreated, a good Rod Stewart voice clone, which is hard to do, and it was perfect and on point for the moment, and it made me feel like I was at a party in the 80s again. It was very powerful this time around.
Yeah, cheers for that, Admiral Tig. Yeah, that's a good choice. Good choice. So yeah, Kung Fu Hot Dog, favorite music moment.
It's got to be Vanessa and Tubbs rocking it up, man. You had that sort of slow transition, everything comes back in. And even when I Shazam the music score, it came up with nil poir. So we know it's Jan Hammer. I'm hoping I'm correct in saying it is him, because
I think it's called Rico's Blues, or it might be, or is it the Marina one?
Yeah,
I'll have to see anyway. I'll have to look it up myself.
Yeah, thanks. But that's my favorite piece.
Jan Hammer songs are great, aren't they?
Yeah, Jan Hammer fucking nails it. I mean, very rarely do I listen to a score that I don't like from him.
Yeah,
on the show. That's it. Very rarely. I think Rico's Blues
kind of on the level of Basil Doris from the Terminator 1 and 2 films. He's like on that level, basically. Anybody with a synthwave sense, they're there. They've got me as a Tangerine Dream. That's the other band I'm thinking.
Dream, yeah. Because he also did
yes.
Yeah, also did Feet as well.
Street Hawk.
Okay, and best main character, I think it's got to be Sonny anyway, because you can tell he's just having fun and just sort of being this badass, just sort of beating McCarthy at everything, being fucking cool, and kind of being the smart one as well, trying to warn Tubbs about getting too close to Vanessa, because he knows she's into a lot of stuff as well, and she's not as innocent as she makes out to be. And it's pretty evident she loves the attention. She loves flirting with other men in front of other guys. She loves sort of like making other guys jealous, but not only that, it's got, yes, like I said, Sonny Crockett is definitely my favorite main character of the episode, because you're just having fun with him as well, just sort of getting one up on McCarthy, especially in the pool, in the pool playing scene. So favorite main character in the Great McCarthy, Admiral Teague.
I would ask you: does the main character come back down to Crockett versus Tubbs, or does that extend to
It
everyone in
goes
the
it goes to
organized
any of the
crime
main
containment?
characters. Any of the main
All
characters,
right,
like yeah. I think Izzy can still be supporting for now, but
Trudy and
even though he's a
Gina,
recurring character, but I'm still kind of
They're
on
supporting
Switek and
characters.
Zito, they're
mm.
supporting characters.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make mention of them. I would say strong supporting role from Trudy and Gina and Switek and Zito. They are
Trina,
all
Trudy, they're main characters. They're main
we
characters. So
okay. Here's the thing: we really feel like we have a team this week because the episode defaults to Tubbs, and because Crockett's like you said, shit eating grin, full on Missouri accent. Yeah, I just I'd not have no other plans that morning, and he's just messing with his partner, and then Tubbs has done a full flip out of all main characters. Though I'm going to give it to Tubbs. He has fully flipped to. He's acting more like Sonny than Sonny, to the point where Sonny's like, I better start acting like Tubbs and calm him down. And we're seeing that these two cops have a feel for each other, that maybe they're natural partners, and that like one will throttle down when he's like when Tubbs sees Vanessa, he's just like, it's like a Tex Avery cartoon. He howls at the moon and he starts scratching behind the ear with his leg. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And Sonny sees this, and he's just the shit-eating grin comes right out. It's like, well, hell, I had sex with Gina last night, and I'll do it again tonight, and I could go hit my wife in the afternoon for lunch. I don't care. I don't need to, like, Tubbs is right. I don't need to repopulate Miami. Let's let him have his fun. And he's just absolutely amused by this. So I'm going to give it to Tubbs. He really does a great job of doing a flip from the serious cop to the obsessed idiot who's ready to let someone go because they're good looking. And both of them are terrible guardians to their city in this episode, but they're like, 5-time felon versus like a guy we could bust anyway because he's in possession with the drugs. Like, yeah, all right, we'll let you go again.
Okay, that's a good point. A good point, man. So yeah, Kung Fu Hot Dog, favorite main character.
Yeah, a bit of a tough one, but I'm going to go with Crockett on this one simply because he had some really good moments, especially when he's like, come on, Gina, 25, good faith money. And he's got that kind of roguish charm that Gina knows, okay, I kind of know that you're going to give it back to me, even though, you're going to bed me later on. So, yeah, you can have it. That's one instance. The other one is where they're at Mcarthy's party, and Crockett was enjoying a moment with a really hot blonde hostess there, and suddenly gets interrupted by Vanessa, the Terminator, killing Gifford. So, yeah, thanks for that. I could have had my way with that chick. But overall, he was just really good. Like you guys said, he's got this shit-eating grin. But there's just a certain suave and confidence about him that it's not understated by it. Well, it is, but in the grand scheme of things, he's changed it out every time. Don Johnson's in a new pastel suit. I'm like, yeah, I'm digging it. I love it. It was just great. So yeah, he's my favorite main character in this episode. For the series overall, that's going to be a conversation when we get to the last ever episode of season 5.
Yeah, that'll be one hell of it, because that's going to be a long one, isn't it? Because it's basically a feature-length episode. So now we're on to the best guest character. So it's got to be. I love Epsy as Mcarthy, and I love Martin Ferrero as Izzy, and it's a really good introduction to his character. But it's Richard Liberty. I just got a soft spot for this guy. I mean, ever since Daily Dead, I just love him. He's only got this small, he's only got this very small role though, but it's just so much fun to watch. Like you said, he looks high as fucking kite as well while he's selling this product to Gina and Trudy, and he's just saying these stupid fucking philosophical puns that connect with his drug dealing, and he makes such a good impression. So it's got to be to Richard Liberty. I mean, God bless you, man. Really, absolute legend. So Admiral Teague, favorite guest character.
You're right. He was, as you guys call him, an absolute mad lad. Like, he'd read a lot of books, he's done a lot of coke, and they were all spinning together in his mind at the same time, being like ejected randomly, like a coronal ejection from the sun. That was great. So I guess favorite guest star. Let's give it to the Weasley redheaded accountant. Redhead representation.
Yeah, Gifford. Yeah, he's
he gives a good performance, and he provides the exposition without being bulky. And it's like, you've been skimming. Nope, he knows about that one. That goes to his girlfriend. That's like we're bad guys who keep bad books, but that's good graft. We were told to steal that money from ourselves and redistribute it to the other part of our own organization.
Yeah, and he's a bigger scumbag than fucking Izzy, isn't he? Because he is selling out all of his clients just to keep himself out of jail, and he is actually skimming from the people he's supposed to be looking after the investments with. He is. So, and
he's not robbing a bank to stay alive the way Izzy is. Izzy is portrayed in this one as Crockett and Tubbs will not jail a man for stealing bread unless they have to, although he's done a bunch of other crimes. The redemptive thing that we didn't get to is this episode ends with the case being blown wide open by Izzy bringing the murder weapon to Crockett, and they put their hands all over it. It's ridiculous. You're supposed to hold it with a pencil.
Yes,
That's like
fingerprints on there, haven't you? It's
he's smart enough to put it in a paper bag. Those won't take the fingerprints off. He was smart enough to put it in the paper, not plastic bag. So you got a shot that they will be preserved, a really good one. But then, and we're talking the plastic consumer bags at the time. The cops have special kind of evidence bags. So he had, he was smart enough to put it in a paper bag. He was not handling it too much. It's Sonny who just can't touch enough of it fast enough when we see him get his hands on it. But that is the redemptive thing that brings justice. And honestly, like, we were going to get Mcarthy anyway, but he doesn't go down for a murder he didn't commit. Basically, is what happened.
So he wants. So there was a bit of a fairness to Izzy as well, and we did forget this is a guy that's had some history with Crockett and Tubbs, because they even say that this is a wet rag that dried out years ago. So yeah, he's on his last two legs. This guy, because
he used to be their
full-time criminal who's got like 4 felony strikes, everything. So yeah, we'll move on to Kung Fu Hot Dog now. Your favorite guest character?
Maria McDonald as Vanessa.
Oh, she is gorgeous.
Manipulative fox all the way through.
Oh yeah. She is loving the attention. She's loving the fact that she's flirting in front of her actual boyfriend. She loves it. She likes the she's one
really
of these women.
Giving it large in more ways than one.
Yep, and she does appear as Tubbs' wife in the season 3 episode. The one I forgot what it's called. It's the one where Calderon Jr. is on his way to kill Tubbs at the honeymoon. Yeah, that one. So she does return as another character, which is something we're going to see a lot in this series, because it's one of these older shows where actors would turn up as different characters, because a lot of people would just because videos were still kind of becoming a bit of a thing around that time, and
recycling is only just starting to come in.
Edward Woodward, they did that as well. They recycled certain people. Like, oh, did I see you in episode 2? Now you're like Chad Redding. That's an actress that comes to mind.
Because episodes were on once a week, wasn't they? And people sort of like forgot a little bit. They didn't always have a chance to rewatch the episode because they couldn't record them if it came on TV.
But that was it. Guys like me who had TV Times reading all the credits. I'm like, oh, I know that star. I know that one. They were fussing and then popping up again. So I think, hang on a minute, I saw them before. So, gentlemen,
isn't that why this episode stands out, right? They loved this actor. They wanted to use him. It doesn't have the chemistry of earlier episodes because it was made earlier. How do we know that? John Deal's beard didn't grow backwards and reappear next week. So this was filmed as soon as they could. They're like, we got our show. The network likes the pilot. They're going to show it. We need a couple more episodes. So like this one was like kind of banged out, and like they're like, you guys blew up the time spot week 1. You know what? We're gonna like shuffle up to production the way we show these episodes. I don't think they're being shown in production order. They're like, we need to get our next best episode first, and that was the Al Bundy one where he's a drug dealer, and then like we need to get our next best episode, so we have the prawn movie maker, and so we've taken a few side quests, and because he's going to be a major character, I think that it was an investment to keep Izzy in the show, that they threw the kitchen sink at us while they're making other episodes before they re-roll him out as someone else, because they made it right away, and the beard on John Deal is the giveaway.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I can sort of, do you think they might have kind of like switched?
I pay attention to these details.
Yeah, Do you think they might have switched it out a little bit because the last episode was so dark, and it's like, okay, we need to get a lighter episode now as well, just to sort of like stop this whole show from being too morbid.
That wasn't the main reason they moved it. The main reason they moved it was to protect Izzy, but they're like, oh, this is perfect. This is falling perfectly together. I feel that's what happened. They're like, you know what?
Right.
This production order doesn't need to be tweaked too much because what happened, and we really like Huggy Bear is a problem. Focus groups don't like Huggy Bear or Nuggy. They don't like Nuggy, okay? And they don't like this chemistry with the lieutenant with the captain who wants to walk anyway. This is too much like Starsky and Hutch anyway, sir. And he's like, maybe the captain could be supportive but stern. They're like, yeah, now you're thinking, like, let's evolve the captain character. So, like, there has been so much more work put into this. It also suggests that the Captain Castillo parts were filmed later because he's not in any scenes with Izzy.
Oh, that could be a good point there. Yeah, that's a good point. That's good noticing. So, we've already done the guest characters now. So, favorite outfit. I am gonna have to go with Izzy's dye pack gear because he could probably wear, because this is the guy who can wear so much garish gear and still sort of get away with it. Because yeah, if you're gonna have a guy who's a bit of a weasel, sleazy con man, have him dress like a sleazy con man. Have him really stick out like a sore thumb. He's a guy that has no self-awareness about it, and we love him for it. We do. We really do. So yeah, Admiral Teague, favorite outfit.
Oh my God, there are so many to choose from. This was
really, I know.
Great outfits. Can I have like 1 minute here on this one? I won't go into too much detail. Oh my God, the Nutty Professor's drug dealer outfit, so great, so crazy. It looked like something Mr. Furley would wear. Absolutely hilarious. Favorite outfit on a principal. I really loved Tubbs's steel gray Botany 500 suit with a very unbuttoned Burt Reynolds down to his navel, a shirt underneath, just starting to fit into Miami. Like this really forces his Miami identity very well. It shows him as someone who's become used to the way we do law enforcement down south. He's not an up north guy anymore. He's developing new skills, and we see Sonny having some skills transfer over. He has a great outfit too with his ice cream man of vengeance with the electric blue shirt. But I have to say the one that was the most emotionally satisfying for me and the one that I liked the best was I have slid my hands up inside many of those pairs of walking shorts that Gina wore. Okay. I can feel it in my hands, if you know what I mean. And they weren't the sexiest shorts until you knew why. They were that big, not for walking comfort. That was like, those were easy access shorts. You might not even have had to take them off to do the deed. And you know what? The only thing I would say about those shorts they were in the one scene in this episode I didn't like. Why, with your not so important to you main squeeze when you're still in love with your wife, are you laying on your undercover boat looking at the stars with your alligator talking about how beautiful the universe is? Like, that was a little too hippy dippy for like our sex only relationship. But aside from that, I love Gina's walking shorts.
Yeah, I think I might change my mind to wear Gina's walking shorts because she pulls them off.
Easy access.
Yeah. Kung Fu Hot Dog, best outfits in the episode.
I want to go for two outfits. Vanessa's Baker foil one at the party. I really enjoyed that because it made me want to go back to my air fryer. And then Izzy's shirt at the end when he shows up and interrupts Gina and Crockett. The shirt he wears is just, it's a piece of magic. It really is. It's just a work of art. It's great.
Yeah, you gotta love his the tacky fucking outfits Izzy wears. He really does.
But hey, tacky in the 80s is actually was still quite up there with the more expensive stuff in terms of compare and contrast. Today, tacky is just really tacky. But there you go.
The thing with Izzy's tackiness is that even the 80s were saying, Izzy, that's too tacky for us, man, because
tacky
that's best outfits. So got to go with favorite quote. Mcarthy was killed because he was a thief and a snitch and he went to Yale. That's my quote. It just cracks me up. I would have gone with downtown doesn't have confidence in your racing, and Crockett replies with that hurts because he's a good racer. He's a big racing enthusiast with boats, and that sounds like a very personal line for Crockett as for Don Johnson himself. But Admiral Teague, favorite quote.
I just want to respond to your thing about how he went to Yale. if you know anything about Spanish pronunciation, I would have appreciated it if Izzy had been like, Yale, I've been to Yale like 4 times, man. What are you going to Yale for? But
Yeah, Lepito, yeah, 4 times, man.
my favorite line in this episode comes from Vanessa when she's being quite lovely, and we've been struck by her golden irises as we see the absolutely chanted and mystified Tubbs following her around like a puppy dog. He goes, I'm from a place that you may have heard of. It's called Manhattan. And she says a great line that tells you everything about her. She goes, Manhattan, is that near the Hamptons?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you know anything about America and New York, the very, 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 very rich of New York also have another extremely wealthy home in the Hamptons. Alec Baldwin's leveled down in money. He had to pay out some damages. He had a little bit of a itchy finger, but he had to pay some damages, and now he only lives in the Hamptons. And I think the other reason is our commie mayor would take away his other house, but he has had to so that's where Alec Baldwin lives. There's a lot of New York celebrities live in the Hamptons, a lot of major movie stars. Diddy lived out there, good thing he didn't go to those parties, but also cool people like 50 Cent also have Hampton homes. So when she says, is it near the Hamptons? That's like saying like Manhattan. Is that where I only know Manhattan from where the very richest Manhattanites go to be rich and flex. I know the Hamptons. She's like, Manhattan. Is that like the feeder community for the Hamptons? So she's being really materialistic and showing that she's just all about money. It was a great line. It's very insider coded, but it was a great line.
That is fucking, that's a good point, that. Jesus Christ, I never realized that. I'll never hear
Admiral
that line
Teague,
another way
bringing
again.
value every week.
Well, that's the good thing about having different people from like different backgrounds who watch this show, because you learn something new. I mean, that's why I like doing this stuff. So yeah,
I grew
Kung Fu
up
hot
on the
dog.
ocean too, so I have that, going for me.
Yeah, Kung Fu hot dog. Favorite quote.
Yeah, it's from Tubbs, funny enough, when he's with Vanessa earlier on, and he says to her something like, what kind of a game is this you're playing? You're digging on me? You're digging on him? Does it turn you on? I love that. And it's just like, oh, he's just straightforward with it. And like, even when she holds his hand right in plain view of her boyfriend, even though you see him off screen, he's like, yeah, she's actually falling for this hook, line, and sinker. And it's just
turn her on.
Cheesy, but I love the fact it's, he just lays it on the line. I thought, yeah, he knows where this is going.
Yeah, because even the episode, even though it's not the best, it's got some good little fun dialogue.
It's got some good moments. It's not a terrible episode, but it's definitely got some fun film. The opening scene again, when they're in that constructed building, that's like, wow, you kind of sold me. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, fucking easy with that line. What was it? Let me get the quote up. It's right at the top. What's the?
Come on, guys. Show me some rhythm.
Yeah, where is it? There it is. Here's the line. Where is the line? Is that? I get it. I bet your old lady made that for you in Petit class, right, Marino? It's like, no, my old lady's in the Moendo store. I picked it up at Galgocho.
This was Vanessa put in such a memorable villainess performance where there's not much redemptive side. Kung Fu Hot Dog said it, and I had to I responded there right there. It's like you nailed it. He's like, when Tubbs is like, does this turn you on? It does. That's her thing. That's like how many people can I get who want to kill me, circling around each other, looking to kill each other? That keeps me like, I like to play dangerous, crazy games. I'm all coked up, and I'm gonna play some dangerous, crazy games.
Oh man. So we're coming close to the end of the show. So yeah, our final rating. So I will give 3 Izzy die pack shirts out of 5. 3.5, I should say. Final rating, Admiral Teague, before we move ahead.
I'm going to shock everybody. I'm going to give this one 5 because of pacing in the series. On its own, it is what Northern English Bastard said. You know what I mean? It is like, it's a 3.5 out of 5 suit story. But here's the deal. it was perfectly placed. It establishes a major recurring character without doing much damage. It's a little bit jarring, but they've done some damage control to soften it, especially with the stunningly beautiful woman. They get away with an atmospheric episode, and they at least 9 episodes in, we include, if you include the movie, 8 stories in, we get to see sometimes this job has a lighter side that isn't quite as dark. There's a hint of darkness at the end, but like, she's an evil asshole. She goes where she belongs. Mcarthy, he's going to beat the rap and he should come back again. Like, haha, you didn't stop me. The weird, release, catch and release of Izzy with what today would have been an ankle monitor kind of release. It's like, I'm not going to get very far with this, with ankle monitor. They're going to know that the cops are following me. So like that would have been said today, like, okay, we'll take the ankle monitor off. But this episode got a lot done for the overall series. It was placed perfectly to improve their season. Great in-game management for the pacing of your show. You couldn't have done this any later. It would have been far too jarring. We didn't have whiplash. We were a little disoriented. Further on, episode 12, we're like, what? Why did we rewind? And we were probably going to see Nuggy again. There's probably other reasons why they wanted to do this no later than now, but made it when they did, because we see, the detective skills. John Deal's beard didn't go away and come back just as thick the week later.
Thank you for that, Admiral Teague. So yeah, Kung Fu Hot Dog final rating.
It's going to be 4.5 espadrilles out of 5.
Okay, man, that's fair play, man. It's like I said, not the best episode, but it's definitely, like you said, it is very well paced. It is very fun, and you don't come away from the episode feeling totally depressed like you did with the last one, even though I really like that episode. So yeah, that is our overall opinions on the show, the episode, the outfits, the music, etc. And we are coming to the end now. So thank you for joining us. And next week will be is it the Glades? Let me double check just in case I'm not getting it wrong. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it is. Or is it give a little take
air freshener, guys? Yeah. For our American audience, Glades.
Yes, it's Glades. Glades is the next episode, so that is a good one. That is a really good one. I look forward to talking about that one. So, yeah, next week, the Glades. Thank you for joining me, Admiral Teague. Thank you for joining me, Kung Fu Hot Dog, and thank you, Lord Toxic, for the super chat as well, and thank you everyone in the chat, Cosmicky Holder, Davey Dredd, PB, always welcome, and who else?
And please like the stream, guys. Yeah. 5 likes. This is a 25 like effort.
And comment on the stream. Comment.
Yeah, keep sharing this. Miami Vice Remastered. Always welcome. You're always lending us support here. You are a fucking star. You really are. Joshua Floors and John the Beagle Dad. Please, thank you very much.
Please comment that I'm going to remind my friend to leave, asking you to give us your thoughts. There'll be one.
Yeah. Yes, do the same as well. People in the chat, in the comments, let me know your overall opinion on the episode, the outfits, the favorite music moment, your favorite quote, favorite main character of the episode, favorite supporting character. It's because your opinion is very, very valued in the comments, especially in the chats. So. But that is the end of the show now, and join us next week for the Glade. So whether you beautiful bastards are English or not, thanks for watching. But right now, that's us done, and we're off to the pub. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.